Hello everybody, and welcome back to OMB Reviews. I am the critic who is a cynic, hoping well, and today, on this Feast of All of the Saints, I am going to be doing a retro review of a film that has become a Halloween holiday tradition here in my family. It has been actually a tradition in my family for a very long time, and I've continued it on in my own family as such, and that is the incredible film Addams Family Values. Before going into my thoughts on this film, though, please make sure you smash that like button, light up that fire button if you're watching over on Odyssey, and also smash that rumble button if you're watching over there. Again, hey, why not? And also make sure that bell notification is turned on YouTube. That way you know every time a new video or live stream goes live on the channel. So Addams Family Values is the 1993 sequel to the original Addams Family live-action film that came out in 1991. And both of these films are absolutely fantastic. This film directed by Barry Sonnenfeld and written by Paul Rudnick. One of the best parts and really one of the best concepts and ideas that this film has is absolutely going to be having to talk about that casting. Because even though I think the writing is definitely on par with the casting, I don't think that not having the casting that they do have for this film would have led to it not being nearly as special as it actually is. And again, it kind of breaks down a little bit like this, where you look to the amazing talent. You have Angelica Houston, who plays Morticia Addams, and to me, she is the iconic, she is the quintessential Morticia Addams. She is able to have that sense of control, to have that sense of mystery, to have that sex appeal, of course, is always kind of the portrayal of that character of Morticia Addams. But it is really helped tremendously by the role of Gomez Addams, played by Raul Julia. And again, rest in peace, Raul Julia, who really, again, died well before his time, who is an incredible actor, and his acting chops are really on complete display in this film as well. Just like with any of the other actors in this movie, every single one of them are showing so many different emotions in this dark comedy. And really, this is kind of the definition of a dark comedy. There's always things that you see in this film as you watch it over and over again that you miss the first time that you watch it. For instance, when they first get to to Camp Chippewa, you notice that in the background, when Joel Glicker and Wednesday Addams are having their look back and forth to each other, you'll notice that Pugsley is in the background tying a noose. So again, very dark and creepy things that you would not typically see in a film like this, especially in modern day Hollywood. And yet this was coming out in the early 90s, and it was done in such a way where you're like, oh my goodness, this is so, again, it was almost like you don't know how to respond, but the way it's being presented is just so darn funny. Again, just the way that they are communicating with each other, the way that this family dynamic is working out. And of course, this is also helped out by amazing performances from Christopher Lloyd, who seriously is a chameleon. I mean, Christopher Lloyd can basically do anything. And it's kind of amazing to me that Christopher Lloyd has not really gotten a lot of attention as far as his movie performances are concerned. Obviously, he was very well known, I would say, as far as, getting any type of awards attention, that kind of thing, when he was in his, television days, right, especially with Taxi. But I think that this really is one of the aspects of his career that deserves a lot more attention, because whether it's his portrayal of Fester Addams in this series of films, or whether it is, of course, his portrayal as Doc Brown, the dude just delivers. He buys in completely. Also, even though he is obviously wearing a suit to make him look bigger, the fact that he's able to, bring his head up and make himself look so much bigger than he actually is just already an amazing feat, not to mention, of course, the voice work that he does for this, just like with any other role that he does. Christina Ritchie, of course, does an amazing job as Wednesday Addams. Seriously, and I mentioned this to my wife last night as we were watching it. She was well before her time. I mean, she was giving a performance as Wednesday Addams, right, as a teenager, and even before then, in the 91 version, right, she was giving a performance that was better than a lot of the acting that we see nowadays. She was able to truly embrace that macabre spirit, and I was mentioning this with my wife last night, saying if they were ever going to remake, which I don't want them to do it, but if they were ever going to remake this series live action, to me, the perfect casting choice to be the next Morticia Addams would actually be, I think, Christina Ritchie, because I think that she would not only be a perfect choice because it's a nice throwback and touch and attention to the original live action films, but then also you could have someone else like maybe even an Oscar Isaac coming in to play Gomez Addams, because I think that Oscar Isaac in live action form could actually do a pretty good job in that role as well, and it would be a really cool dynamic just to have her be a part of this story. Again, I don't really know exactly what Workman is doing, the guy that plays Pugsley. I don't think he's done a whole lot. Jimmy Workman, I don't know if he's done a whole lot since his time on this film, but having him maybe try and come back as Fester Addams could also be another kind of fun throwback there as well. But that all being said, the actors, and again, I'm not even mentioning Joan Cusack as Debbie, again, one of the greatest characters ever created, and of course the dynamic between her and Fester always just makes me laugh, whether it's her yelling at him and his response, it's always fantastic. And Carol Kane, of course, as Grandma. And it's interesting because I actually really like the character of Grandma in both the first and second film. The first film, it is not played by Carol Kane, but I do like the rendition of the character. However, I will say if I had to choose a preference, it'd probably be Carol Kane, because obviously Carol Kane is well known for being a character actress, and she does just incredible work in every single thing that she does. And this is not even going into some of the other supporting characters of this film, right? You have, of course, the incredible portrayal of Gary and Becky Granger in the film as well. Again, something that is typically not, again, I don't think given as much really support or giving nearly as much attention. It's played by Christine Baranski and Peter McNeil. I just think that they are fantastic in the movie. It's just freaking hilarious. David Crumholtz as Joel Glicker, also one of my favorite lines in the film is, "And Joel Glicker, I'm surprised at you." Oh, fantastic performances throughout. And it is, of course, supported, as I've been mentioning previously, all incredibly and very much supported by an incredible writing as well. I mean, just it fits the perfect tone of both dark and comedic without going too far into the dark and not going too far into the comedic as well. I know that this might not be the type of film that is made for everybody, but I think that this is the type of film that is made for most people, right? I think that most people can have some type of connection to this film in one way or another, whether it is attaching themselves to the characters in this film or to a specific character in this film, whether it is them connecting to aspects of the story, aspects of family. Even though they are this weird family, right, going through things that no one else would ever actually go through, there's also, again, these ties to typical family life in this more twisted fashion. And obviously, it's meant to be a play on that very thing. And I think they just do a very good job at doing it. And so overall, I just love this movie. As I said, I've been watching this now every Halloween. I go between this and the first one because I think both are absolutely fantastic. This year, Addams Family Values, though, was on the ticket. And it just every time I watch it, I'm just amazed and reminded of how amazing it is. Also, there are so many different supporting roles of people that aren't even credited really in the film, or not given as really don't have a much big of a role in the film to be able to really merit being talked about as much. But Nathan Lane is in this film and gives a great performance as a cop between him and Raul Julia. The work there is absolutely fantastic. Also, I just found this out last night that in the delivery role, the delivery doctor is played by David Hyde Pierce. Again, no idea that was ever the case. I always recognized Tony Shalhoub as Jorge, one of the sailors in the film, but also Barry Sonnenfeld had no idea that he was the father of Joel Glicker. So again, it's just amazing that you find out all of these different things. Also, interesting fun fact, Nathan Lane would eventually go on to play Gomez in the Addams Family Broadway musical, which it was not as good as the films, of the live action films, I would say. It definitely, I think, is much more inspired by the original cartoon and is inspired much more by maybe more so the original series. But some of the music in it is actually pretty good. But I think that Nathan Lane actually plays a pretty good Gomez. Nothing near as Raul Julia. Of course, no one's ever going to touch the role of Raul Julia. Again, there's just no way that that's ever going to happen. But if you just look to the amount of people that are in this film, it's just really pretty amazing and pretty phenomenal to see nonetheless. But anyway, if I had to give this film a grade, I'm going to give this film a solid A. It really is one of my favorite comedies of all time. It is a film that, again, is funny every single time I watch it. I recognize and notice things that I had never noticed before every single time that I watch it, and it's always a great experience. But have you ever seen Addams Family Values? What are your thoughts about it? Let me know in the comment section below this video. Smash that like button, slap that fire button if you're watching on Odyssey, and smash that rumble button if you're watching over there. You're all amazing and beautiful people. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. And as always, God bless. And now for a huge shout out to all of my Patreon Subscribestar and Locals members: Andrew Hoyle, animation commentator; Brandon, Brian P., Christopher Bowman, Don Bruno de la Mancha, Father Christopher Miller, hail to you, Father; Father Damian Cook, Garrett Searles, Harold Francis, Inflamed Wood, Jacob Juice, Jeffrey Toone, Joe Horn, Jonathan Carney, Gomer Kyle, 79, Laura, the Modern Major General's Story, Mike Jackson, Dion, Mad Mitch Dunaway, Mondo Spieler, Mr. Peabody, On to June, Orange Hat Reviews, Out of Step with Reality, Priscilla Hall, Rosetta Allen, Stan Andrian, Teresa Martin, Theodore Benden, Tina Bojan, and Tina B., the Empress of the Universe. Thank you for being my Patreon members. And a huge shout out to my Subscribestar members: The R, Fast Reaction, Nosferatu Gatsu, John B., Perpetual Punster, Mr. Roy, Glinzer, J. Alex McCarthy Jr., Dean Heiss Slash, the new number 2, J-Rod the Beer Guru, and ZK-Man. Thank you very much for supporting me over on Subscribestar. And to my one Locals member, Robert Barnes, thank you for supporting me over on Locals. And if you want a name shouted out, or your name rather, shouted out at the end of every single live stream and video, please consider joining on one of those platforms, either Patreon, Subscribestar, or Locals. Links to that can be found in the description. Look at that top link especially. It's called the Willow link there. It'll give you links to all the social media platforms and also ways to support the channel. If you want to be an Army of Asgard level or above member, you can get access to giveaways that I do every single month. I give away 4Ks, Blu-rays, all kinds of stuff. It is a lot of fun. Also, if you join at the Keeper of the Bifrost level, you get access to all of that. Plus, you get access to an exclusive podcast that I do with John the Flick Pick Flickinger. We have a lot of fun. We do that once or twice a month. And if you join at the Chosen of Valhalla level, you get all of that. Plus, in your first month, you get a t-shirt of your choice and send anywhere in the world. And also, you get to be featured on the channel once a month on the Chosen of Valhalla live stream, where we get to hang out and have a good time. So anyway, if any of that sounds good, check out that link in the top of the video as I mentioned. You guys are amazing and beautiful people. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And as always, God bless.